Callie, when you were growing up on the farm, did you ever think you'd own your own direct-to-consumer beef business?
I wasn't sure that I would. I can't say that was something I had, drawn out for my future plans, but I do like to say with my dad being a ruminant nutritionist and my mom working with the Animal Industry Board as an inspector, I think it was kind of in my genes that this was going to happen one way or another.
Isn't that something? Well, tell us how you got in the business. Tell us all that should we, shouldn't
Yeah.
we, all that decision making.
Yeah, so I like to joke. My husband actually grew up on Lake Mitchell. So when I first met him, I thought there is no way this kid knows how to do anything with cattle. Like, why am I even visiting with you? And then he actually spent a couple calving seasons down in Scott's area, working for a rancher, and that's when he really fell in love with it and started buying cattle. And he was really interested in marketing Angus bulls for sale each spring. So once we were married and had our own place, that was something that, we partnered on, I guess, just doing together. And I helped with the marketing side of it. And being millennial ranchers where we weren't, a family with it's our 30th production sale. It was our first year or second year, brand new name, TW Angus. It was kind of hard to get our name out there.
Mhm.
And then while we were trying to do that, we had people coming up to us all the time. Do you have any beef for sale? We want to have beef directly from a rancher, or we want to support you guys. And so we thought, what a good time to do that of this last year. So we were on a much smaller basis than what Scott's family does, but we had 10 steers that we fed out, and we only had to advertise one, as the rest were all sold on a wait list. So it was just something that we were both really always wanting to do. Like, the nutritionist in me wants to do this. And then Tate, he's just always wanted to have a feedlot of some size. So we're just kind of slowly getting started with that. And based on how this first year went, we'll definitely continue it. But it's just really fun to get pictures from people of looking forward to supper tonight. It's their roast in the crock pot, or just ate delicious steaks, didn't take a picture because they're gone. So we really enjoy doing that for people.
So the pandemic, for all of the bad things that happened, and all of the bad news about processing, and first, for a smaller type operation, it worked out, right?
It did. Financially, it was actually a much better option for us. That was another reason why we started it. We just knew there had to be a way to, not break, or lose so much money as if we were going to the sale barn. Like, there had to be a way that we could find an answer to have a little income off of these fat steers. So between, monitoring their diets and what we were using in their rations to, what we were going to charge, what time of year we were going to have them processed, which that was another obstacle on its own of just simply getting into lockers within our area. And then, there only being a few lockers within South Dakota that are inspected so that we could sell meat directly off of our place. That was another obstacle. So we learned a lot in this last year.
So did you come up with a partnership with a particular locker, or how did that all shake out?
Yeah, we do have a couple lockers. Fortunately, we had worked with them in the past. So we did already have that relationship there, just on a much smaller basis. And then we branched out to get some of those, or in with another inspected locker. So we already have reserved for 2022, and hopefully we can, better serve our customers.
Well, great. I'm going to come back to you, Callie. I do want to jump back to Scott here real fast. Switching from cattle to bison, tell us some of tell us some of the things. I almost want to say lessons learned, but maybe you knew some of these things going in. What did you have to do? What, besides the changing out of animals? What kind of facility changes and feed changes, and how did all that work?
Yeah, so I would say that bison are a lot more similar to beef than people think. There's a lot of things that are very similar. They're like, especially similar but different. The scariest part was obviously getting them first ones in, or anytime we got new animals. And we were fortunate enough, we bought 80% of our herd from one guy's place, from a Reputation herd. It was dry there in 2017 up near Buffalo, South Dakota, on the Limperts. And they have genetics is something that is, well, it's lacking in beef as well, but more so in the bison industry. Most people just own bison that say they have bison. So we really did get lucky. In order to be able to get into a foundation or reputation, Sandy Limpert's been bulls for 20 years, having bull sales, focusing on the genetic.
Oh,
Rotational grazing, managing the grass, but it was more random. Now we focus on that, but we were doing that with beef as well. But as far as challenges, obviously the fence, beef cattle, you can about keep them in anything, and bison. The most important thing is just make sure the bison feel at home. When we first unloaded them, we just unloaded them and we built a new set of the corrals down our south place, because the very limiting factor in owning and raising bison is you can't just load them up a trailer. I mean, you can, but you can't just load them up a trailer and go take them to summer grass. That's what we do. A lot of our beef cows, we had summer leases, but so you kind of have continuous land, and we're fortunate enough to have enough land base here in Todd County that we could do that. We're maxed out on our numbers now. We're at 900 females, a little over 900 females. So we're pretty well maxed out, but today I'm drilling wells. My well drillers are drilling wells for a new crossfence program through oh man, I'm drawing a blank right now. Not the conservation district, but what's the name of that out? Anyways, the government program to increase water, increase soil health, increase cross fence. But yeah, the fencing, we beefed up our corrals, or I guess you'd say bisoned up our corrals. We already had pretty good corrals at the home place. That's where my genetics herd is. I have 150 pairs up there. Then all my other herds are down south. So yeah, I mean, it's really not, if you're smart and you have patience, pretty much the same beef cattle. It's very limiting though. The bison is not everybody wants to have some bison, but not everybody can have bison. And that's where the genetics really lack as well. Most of the bison that are they're running just because they're bison, not because of performance and genetics. So we do track that. We track our gains on grass, mostly just in our breed bull prospects. I have about 40 bulls for sale this year. So we're bringing a little bit of that old school selling bulls back into it. But yeah, we invested in ourselves. We invested in our genetics. We've bought quite a few high powered bulls, and now we are raising those bulls and focusing on the females, on the structure, just like you did with anything else. But if it wouldn't have been dry and we wouldn't have that relationship with the Limperts, I say one of the biggest challenges would be finding the animals and finding good animals. We did buy a couple loads of animals that are not on our place anymore, because at the time we didn't realize that there was that big a difference, just like there is in beef cattle. So, but yeah, that was definitely some of the challenges. It's I've learned, I've done a lot of firsts in the last 5 years. So and it's not like we weren't already busy. So, but yeah, we've been fortunate.
You buy stock outside of South Dakota? I was been up to Lippert's place up in Buffalo, up in Harding County there, and they were talking about, I'm not sure, we're Canada or Colorado or someplace, right?
Yeah. So there's obviously South Dakota is the number one, or not obviously, I guess, but South Dakota is the number one bison state in the United States. I think Colorado is close, maybe. No, I think South Dakota's got it. Colorado, Wyoming. Anyways, we have a lot of the Turner ranches here, and the largest commercial, private ranches are here in South Dakota. This is where the bison roam. This is where they do well, especially in the short grass country and our tall grass country here. We're right on the borderline. But yeah, we've a couple of my best bulls, what I think are my best bulls anyways, we bought out of Canada at the Denver Stock Show. So they did come out of Canada. We did buy a few bred heifers out of Canada from a reputation herd up there. But other than that, most of our herd it come from up there from Limpert's. A few from other ranches, Western South Dakota. But now we are doing a closed herd now. on the female side of things, we're only keeping back our own replacement heifers. I'm going to try to do a completely closed herd, but you know, you get in a sale and you see a really nice bull you like, sometimes it's hard to not bring him home, you know, so.
So that doesn't change from the cattle industry to the bison industry, right?
That doesn't. Yeah, I'm about 5 bulls long right now, but you get in the sales, like, dang, he would look nice on my plate.
Great story. I'm gonna jump back to Callie here real fast. And Callie, tell me about financing. I'm sure that, you know, everybody, when you talk about next generation agriculture, people are going, yeah, well, how do you get the money? How do you make it work with the family? And so tell us your story about that.
Yeah, finances has definitely been the biggest hardship, I guess, or the biggest challenge that we had, because we like to go by the title of millennial ranchers because we are on our own. As much as I loved growing up on my family farm, it wasn't an option to have another family come in and live off of that place. So Tate and I were very fortunate to be able to purchase our own acreage and home so we could run our cattle in one area instead of running them with other producers across South Dakota like Tate had been in the past. So we were fortunate to work with FSA, our local FSA office, to secure some beginner rancher loans, as well as just having a great relationship with the banker in town here, an ag banker. So he understood, you know, the first few years he would want us to be selling calves, and we wanted to be retaining our own heifers. And so he understood what we were doing and what our long-term goal was. So that was a big part of the financial challenges in the beginning. But if there's anybody out there looking to purchase some ground or, you know, a little ranch place, if you can find one, I suggest working with the Farm Service Agency. They're very helpful.
Yeah. So what does a bank look for? What kind of questions did they ask you?
They definitely wanted to know what sources of income we had off of the farm. So Tate and I, we both hold full-time jobs in order to sustain this lifestyle right now. He works for his family's business. It's Williams Masonry. So it's a commercial masonry business, building hospitals and schools across South Dakota. And then I work full-time for the Wyoming Livestock Roundup. I am a field rep for them. So I help producers across the Dakotas, Nebraska, and Colorado with their advertising. And through that position, I am able to work from home, which is extremely beneficial. So during calving season, I can run outside and check cows, or we're actually getting some cattle ready for the Black Hill Stock Show. So I can zip out to the barn and work on them for a little bit in little pockets of time. So the bank wanted to know, you know, what our other sources of income were, what our plans were for income outside of just, you know, selling calves in the fall, or if we were going to be selling bred heifers. When we expanded into the TW Angus premium meats, that is something they were very excited about, just yet again, another source of income. And then now exhibiting our livestock at the Black Hill Stock Show, just kind of gaining that customer basis.
So project us forward a little bit. Do you and Tate have this dream of doing the ranching part full time?
We do. I don't know if it will happen now that Tate's part of that family business. So no, we do have dreams of doing that, at least one of us being here full time. The biggest obstacle being finding enough pasture to make that a reality. It's not necessarily available close to home, at least not at the moment. So if we were able to expand, I know one of us would definitely stay closer.
Good. Let me ask Scott a little bit about the partnership with the Heims. What did the Heims bring to your partnership, Scott?
Well, I mean, Alex Heim, you'd be hard pressed to find. Well, the Heim family, you'd be hard pressed to find another family that's been ingrained in the bison business as they are. They've had bison in their family since 1967. So it's just very rare to come across that. And Alex, you know, Alex is a young guy. He's my partner, I guess. Young guy. He's older than me, but and he's very industrious, and that, you know, they just have a lot of relationships with a lot of people. We wouldn't be selling meat right now, you know, and without them, and I don't know if they'd be selling it without us.